Welcome to the Critical Corner. Today, we have something very special. So go ahead and grab those snacks, grab a blanket, because it's kind of a lot. Today we're watching The Country Bears. Did you guys remember this movie existed? I didn't. I blissfully forgot about it, and I lived a wonderful life until suddenly one day someone reminded me that this movie existed, and it's like I had a flashback, a horrible flashback to this movie. I hated it. But hey, since you're here with me in the corner right now, I thought we could just talk about it. So if you didn't know, Country Bear movie is based off the attraction they have it at Disney World. They also have Tokyo Disneyland. They used to have it in Disneyland in California, but it got replaced by the Winnie the Pooh ride. So essentially what it is like a stage show with 18 animatronics, and they sing you country music. And they're bears. I didn't say that, but that's important. They're bears, and they're country bears, and they sing you country music. Those are the Country Bears. Okay, so they made a movie. It was actually the first of the, we got Pirates of the Caribbean based off the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Well, the Country Bears was the first in their Disney's, hey, we're gonna make movies based off of these rides that we already own the property for, which, that's smart, that's cool. Love that. Don't love this movie. I actually had fun watching it, though. I'm not gonna lie. I did have fun.
Your family. Then you're going.
This movie, guys. Oh, so I want to add in a little fun fact. These bear animatronic suits were made by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. And so then they had people that were puppeteering the bear suits from off screen. So kind of a fun fact. Okay, so this movie came out in 2002. And I'm going to give a quick little synopsis here. So the Country Bears' biggest fan, young Barry Barrington. Yes, you heard that right. Barry Barrington. No creative points for Disney on that. So, okay, anyway, young Barry Barrington runs away to join his heroes, but finds Country Bear Hall in danger of being foreclosed by a greedy banker. With Barry's help, the Country Bears get the band back together for an all-out reunion concert to save the venue that made them famous. It's pretty cut and dry. We're both here, trapped in the corner. Not trapped. You can leave anytime you want, but please don't. The movie opens with a little montage dedicated, showing how the Country Bears rose to fame. The just typical kind of montages. And I can't lie, these costumes are pretty impressive. The film was made in 2002 and it had a budget of $35 million. I think most of the budget probably just went to the costumes, but they're only slightly creepy, right? It's only a little uncanny valley, just a little.
Oh my God!
This movie has a Rotten Tomato score of 31%. So just so we're all on the same page as we get into this, because we got a long way to go. Okay, anyway, we skip then to a live show, which seems to be the Bears on their farewell tour. The band is breaking up. This is the last performance, and so then we get in this nice little introduction of their names. Thankfully, more creative than Barry Barrington. They put a little more thought into the rest of them, which is great. So we have Ted Betterhead as the lead vocals and guitar, Zeb Zuber as the fiddler, Tennessee O'Neill as the one strang thing. I don't know what that means, but it's not important. And then last but not least, we have Fred Betterhead on the harmonica and bass. Great. So then after we get that little introduction, we're given just the rest of the concert with truly very dizzying cinematography. It's, it's fine. Oh yeah, so then the bears are flying around on stage. It's unclear at this point if they have superpowers or whatever. Guys, they're really trashing this venue. Is that why they have to break up? Because they don't have money anymore? All their money and budget is going into just repairing these venues that they're trashing during their concerts. What's happening? Oh, and Fred here, he like does a full-on stage dive and then into the audience, and then the camera cuts away really awkward. So I was convinced when watching this the first time that I was like, oh, because he just like murdered people. You know, maybe it's all the lawsuits. Maybe those are piling up as well. Oh, never mind. Okay, it's all okay, guys. The audience, it turns out, is superhuman, and they can easily carry this 1,500-pound bear. Oh, and also they're just like canonically like strings as they're bouncing around. I don't understand that. Is Taylor Swift on strings a lot? This is a next level concert, and you know, the audience is loving it. Everything's a success. Doesn't matter that they trash the stage. No one cares because they're the Country Bears and they're out here making awesome music, you guys. So it doesn't matter. None of it matters. That's going to be a theme. I'm going to say this a lot during this movie, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but none of it matters. It really just does. So then we pan back and we kind of realize that this is all footage from some like documentary that was made on the Country Bears that's being watched by our protagonist, Barry Barrington. And he gives us some really great facial expressions. Willie Nelson is here to make sure that we all know this is legit and that the Country Bears definitely existed and they were super famous and everyone loved them. So then Barry gets called down to dinner and we get to meet his family, which are all human, and introduced to this strange family dynamic. It's like suddenly in this scene, out of all this time, Barry's questioning like why he's different, but like I think it's supposed to be funny. I think they thought this was funny that he's like, oh, I'm like kind of different, and his brother's like, he's a bear, and his parents are like, no, sweetie, you're totally normal. And I don't really know what they're going for here, because the brother is like the only one that's making sense to me in this scene, like, because you're a bear, and someone maybe should someone tell him that?
Am I adopted?
Of course not, honey.
Sometimes I feel different, like Dex and me. We don't look the same.
Are they making an adoption joke? What? Also, there's honey on the table. Because did you get it? Because he's a bear. He's a bear that likes honey. It's a nice little Easter egg to sprinkle in there. Also, and so the parents, they give like this heartfelt speech about like it's okay to be different and all that sort of stuff, which is fine, I guess. And Barry like completely drops the topic about like why he's different. They just drop it.
Okay. I'm gonna go practice.
I want to do a quick side note before we really get into the weeds of this film, because we're like only a few minutes in, guys. But the blinking on these animatronics genuinely looks painful. Like it's almost hard to watch. Yeah, I mean, they're impressive animatronics, but I think that's where the creepy factor comes in with the slow, painful blinking. I'm not a fan. So anyway, Dex, the brother, by the way, if I didn't mention that already, his name's Dex. He decides to continue being a jerk, and Barry continues to be completely unable to read the room.
Way to go, doofus. What are you talking about?
We then get some really just truly hilarious photoshopping. 10 out of 10. I'm not mad about this. It's great. It made me chuckle. It was the first chuckle this movie got me. So, you know, good job, Disney. Yay.
See this? This is my birth certificate. Here's yours.
Oh my God. Okay, so I know this is a tracking device, but I seriously, my brain, you know, messed up as it is, went straight to thinking this was like, he was from a testing facility or something. Like I panicked because I thought, oh my God, Disney, did you go down this route? But it's not. It's a tracking device, but I still don't understand it. Like, so wait. So we have anthropomorphic bears and we have wild bears? Okay. So we then learned that Barry was kind of taken in like a pet. You know, those times when you're just like walking in the woods and you find a baby bear and you're like, I'm gonna take that home with me. That's what Barry's parents did. And they named him Barry. For some reason. I don't know why. You know what? Honestly, no wonder Dex is such a jerk to him because it's like he was a small child and his parents just brought home a baby bear and expected him to not be mauled. I, that just seems, like where's child services, guys? So we're about 7 minutes into this movie, and after some really poor buildup, Barry decides that, you know what, Dex is right. He doesn't belong here. And then he hallucinates some words from our good old murderous pal, Fred. And he's like, you know what, I gotta go to Country Bear Hall. That's where I belong. So he just leaves. He just straight up leaves. These eye movements are just, they're wild, and I love it. I love it. Don't fix it. Just leave it. It's great. We then get this nice little like travel montage of him traveling on a bus with humans. Still unclear in this universe, like, are all bears capable of becoming like anthropomorphic? You guys, the Country Bear cinematic universe is very confusing. The CBCU, if you will. But like, seriously, does he even have money? Like, did he just get on the bus? How? These things are not explained. Damn it, Barry. You made your mother dry cry. You know she hates it when she dry cries. Wait, why did he scratch up the note? Is this movie implying that he really is a wild bear, but they're just pretending that he's not? Comment your theories down below, please. I'd love to hear them. Wait, is the mailman a bear? Or is that a retired country bear? You know what? It's all okay. We made it to Country Bear Hall, and Christopher Walken's here. So then we get the typical, like, conflict of the movie. We have the evil banker that's trying to take Country Bear Hall, but they don't have the funds because it's a rundown music joint, and, this is not super original, but it's a plot, and that's, it's fine. So far, I'm not mad.
People that own the bank before you wouldn't mind if I got behind on my payments a month or two. They cut me some slack.
This like really weird moment where one of the bears like peeks around, he has like peeking around the wall at Christopher Walken, who gets like alarmed. But then they just drop that moment. It doesn't, like, we never, is there a backstory there? Like, do they have a history? I don't know. We never get that explained. And I'd like to, writers. Also, yeah, Christopher Walken wants to tear down Country Bear Hall, and they are super subtle about it in the plot, guys. Also, these random bears that we still don't know who they are really chill about this random kid just like coming up. He just waltzed right onto their property. No words exchanged. They don't even know his name, and they're just really chill about it. So, you could ask where his parents are. He clearly is too young to be unsupervised. But they don't. They just, he's here. Anyway, mom is still dry crying, but at least they reported it to the police. So that's a good start. These parents, I have to say, they really suck. I mean, they couldn't even be bothered to come up with something more creative than Barry, and it is spelled like bear with a Y at the end. So not even like Barry from the show, that really good HBO show. They could have done Barry, but they didn't do that. They just got lazy and said, hey, he's a bear, and we'll just add a Y to the end. Isn't that cute? It's supposed to be cute. I don't think it's cute. Put more effort in. Anyway, Barry gets a rundown of like Country Bear Hall. He gets a full tour from a caretaker named Henry, and they still haven't asked why he's there. He's just a random bear that has shown up, and they're just giving him a tour.
Sometimes I climb up there just to hear the notes.
What notes?
The music. The millions of notes that floated up there. Some of the best darn notes ever.
Great notes. I love these notes. These notes are amazing. Just like this writing. The writing's fantastic. Never change it. They further establish the conflict of the plot. It's either $20,000 or the Country Bear Hall gets torn down in 4 days. They never revisit the 4-day thing, now that I'm thinking about it. So that doesn't seem important. Don't worry about it.
We can get the band back together!
Barry's here to save the day. He just says, let's just get the band back together. Still no one has asked where this child came from. I'm really concerned about child safety in this universe. in the CBCU. Like, who is this kid? Why is his face weirdly expressive? We don't know.
But this place, it's historic. The notes in the rafters?
The notes in the rafters. Someone please think of the notes in the rafters. So in predictable fashion, Henry is like a grumpy old bear, and he's like, no, I don't want to get the band back together. But then, you know, the creeping bear from earlier, we learn his name's Big Al, and he's like, he convinces him with really great dialogue.
You could do that. I could do that. We could do that.
Meanwhile, the policemen are trying to get a better description of Barry from the parents, and the whole time Dex is like, yeah, he's a bear. And I'm starting to think that, like, maybe Dex is the only intelligent character. It's just weird that I think they're trying to make this funny. Like, everyone else ignores the fact that Barry's a bear. But I don't know if it's working.
Yeah, he's got thick brown hair all over his body.
If that would help you out.
Barry has literally never gone a day in his life not holding the guitar. So then Henry goes to spend time with those poor trapped notes, and we get a flashback of Country Bell Hall in its heyday. He's Henry. Those notes just want to be free. So then Henry gets captivated by Barry and that guitar that he's unable to let go of, and he's just convinced. Let's get the band back together, baby. And again, I know I'm really hammering this in, but they literally still don't know who this kid is. They're just like, cool, this kid with his guitar showed up and he's gonna save the day. We're gonna get the band back together, and with no question, like they've not even made it clear if they know his name or not. They get the old tour bus out, and we meet Rhodey. And I don't know why, but I was like weirdly disgusted by this bus. Like, it bothered me how gross it was on the outside and on the inside. And it just magically works after all this time, and it's full of junk. There's not even room to put all the country bears in there. I mean, they're bears. They're big. There's no room. Please explain. But it's okay. We're gonna get the band back together, and they're just going off on the road. Yeah. So the first stop they make is for Fred, you know, our murderous friend. He's the first bear that they recruit, and we learn that he's like vague. I think he's supposed to be like a security guard at this very vague like studio place. It's not really established, and it's also not important, so we're gonna move on.
You're Fred Betterhead? Fred from the Country Bear.
How does Crystal not know he was a country bear? Aren't they the only publicly known talking bears? Like, doesn't he have to be a part of Country Bears? CBCU. Please explain. And he also apparently invented the stage dive.
And didn't you invent the stage dive?
And that's probably because it made the news after all those people that he killed. So, you know, the more you know. So lucky for Fred, Crystal is a singer, and they're filming a music video. This whole sequence kind of felt a little like fourth wall breaking, but it's fine. I'm gonna come out and say now, I'm not really a fan of any of the music in this video, or I'm sorry, movie. Anyway, none of it matters, because right when Fred is busting out a sick solo, Barry and Henry show up just in time to see it. Just in time to see that good old murdering Fred hasn't lost his head.
Hey, Fred, you alright?
The dive works better.
Yeah, with an audience, right? Well, if you're alright, I gotta go get ready for the shoot.
Wait, they weren't already shooting the video? What were we watching them do?
You can do it! You're Fred Betterhead, the amazing world-famous Fred Betterhead. The Fred Betterhead.
Who is this guy?
Finally, someone asked it. Finally. So then they get in touch with this guy, Rip, who like apparently stole the band from Henry, and he's gonna help them promote the movie, I guess, even though they kind of like establish him as a shady business guy. Like, suddenly we're just putting all that behind us. Talk through it, whatever, doesn't matter. Promote the band. And he's like super all for it. He has a really great wig, by the way. I really like it. He also looks around, like when Henry called him, that Henry was like waiting around the corner to jump scare him or something.
No talk, huh? So, are you nearby?
I don't know, I found that really funny. So Fred was on board, I guess, and we're back on the road, and Barry and Fred bond over this little memorabilia book that Barry has on the Country Bears. So that's nice. Okay, so they mentioned this armpit music kid, Benny Bogswoggle. Anyway, it's important that we need to know this for later. So I'll put a little pin in that, because Benny Bogswoggle is very important for later. So keep that in your noggin.
Winning that talent show was our big break. Oh, that's Benny Bogswoggle. He was real talented. But he was a bad loser.
Big Al spills the beans to the villain.
Henry says, we do this here concert, and we raise that $20,000. We could tell that little weasel banker to,
We also learn he's freakishly fast, and I don't like that. It's kind of scary. It's kind of terrifying. So next on their list is Zeb, who's living at this bar, I guess, and drinking a lot of honey that they later establish. So spoilers, sorry.
Excuse me, miss.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they got Queen Latifah to be in this movie? Where did this budget go? The caption called this ecstatic moaning. I didn't like that. Did not like it. So Zeb explains that he'd love to join the band, but he owns Queen Latifah too much money. But like, he's living at this bar now. Yeah. So I guess he's living at the bar. I don't know. They don't say, and it's not important. So there's just random bears around. I just really want the CBCU to make sense. I mean, the MCU is confusing, but you know, you can make it make sense. I'd like the CBCU to make sense. Also, Zeb is also like the second character to be like, hey, who is this kid?
Who is this guy?
And they're just like, he's Barry.
Well, that's Barry.
Because that's literally the only thing they know about him. So Barry makes this deal with Queen Latifah that Zeb is going to go in like a music battle against her house band. And if he wins, then his debt is paid off. And if her house band wins, then she gets to keep that garbage heap of a tour bus. It's a really bad deal, but whatever. I mean, I guess you could clean the bus up, but it's still old and busted, right? But yeah, it is a terrible deal, but I guess Barry can be very convincing. I wish I had more bear puns for this video. The bears kind of protest this deal because it is like putting a lot at stake, and the only reason I'm commenting on this scene is because Rhodey gets one of his few lines in the movie in this little moment.
Not to mention, that's where I raised my kids.
Huh? So this bus was just sitting there rotting, but he also raised his kids in it? What? Okay. So the song is about honey, and that's why I thought like Zeb is just hanging around in this bar drinking honey all the time, because I think that's like how bears get drunk. It's not clear. In a shocking plot twist, Zeb wins and his debt is paid off. No one saw that coming. Anyway, what's Christopher Walken up to?
Oh no!
Great. So then we have this scene where the two police officers show up at Country Bear Hall, and then there's this weird misunderstanding between the police and Big Al that kind of makes the police think that Henry bear-napped Barry. So that's like a new plot to the rest of the plot. We have a new plot now. Keep up. So then there's more bonding and slow blinking on the tour bus that Brody apparently raised his kids in. Next, they go to recruit Tennessee, who's apparently a marriage counselor now in his post-Country Bear days. This scene's supposed to be funny, but I don't know, it wasn't like even a bad funny, so I'm just not really gonna comment on it much. It also is supposed to set up that just keep this another little thing to remember. He's a lovesick bear that lost the love of his life, Trixie. She's not dead. She left him.
Huh?
Expressions these costumes make, I mean, they're just like unsettling at times.
Don't tell me you're getting the band back together. Tennessee, We're getting the band back together.
And again, there's just more bears appearing out of thin air, and Tennessee apparently just automatically knows what they're there for. And so they go to this diner, I guess, to like try and convince Tennessee to join the band. And talking pandas are a thing in this universe too now. So CBCU, ever expanding.
Why'd you break up with you?
Was it that sweater you're wearing?
Took off with some rich millionaire real estate guy. A panda.
I agree with Zeb. That sweater's ugly. So then their waitress turns out to be like a fan of the Country Bears. So then we have to have another music sequence, and it just so happens that everyone in the restaurant is super musically talented, and they had this whole thing choreographed. This is crazy town. Everyone's very talented. I love the saxophone grandmas. They're great. Just, they're killing it, and I love that for them. This was my least favorite song sequence in the movie, and I was genuinely just glad when it was done. So we're just gonna move on from that one. Anyway, thank God that's over. So then they see on the news that it's suspected that Barry has been bear napped. And what perfect timing, because the cops happen to be walking into this very same diner, and they did not see the giant ugly tour bus outside. They just didn't, and that's fine. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because as we've learned, bears in this universe are terrifyingly fast. So they're able to escape. So despite their attempts to escape unnoticed, the cops happen to see them out the window, and as I said, for whatever reason, didn't see the giant tour bus before. I don't know. I didn't write this movie, okay? And then we get a chase sequence, and some very obvious, like, sped up footage to make it look like they were going faster than they were. Safety first, kids. And then I really just would love to just kind of skip through this next sequence, because I'm sure some people would find it enjoyable or entertaining at least, but this sequence just kind of feels painful to watch, because, like, these two cops are, like, painfully stupid. And they're able to just lose them in the car wash in this weird sequence that kind of like makes no sense. The worst part of this sequence is that we find out that Cheats' mustache was fake. Justice for Cheats' mustache. Also, why is it gone before he hits the car? Plot hole. And then we get this little exchange between Dex and Barry. Nothing too major there, but it's a plot point. I guess they're bonding. I don't know. So then we get this little lull in the movie where we have this returning love of Trixie and Tennessee. Trixie that left him for the panda.
What's with the pandas? They get everything.
That Trixie. She just happened to be nearby, and so they perform together and fall in love again, just like that. We don't know what happened to the panda. That's never established. Is he okay? And I don't know if it's the dialogue or the costumes or like a combination of the two, but everything feels so like stilted and inorganic, like we're here because the script told us we need to be here. This is also the first time in the movie where I just wasn't having a good time. Like when I started the movie and I was like, oh wow, okay, this is ridiculous. Just kind of like I remember. This is the part of the movie where it's just slow and bad, and I didn't want to be watching it anymore. And it felt like I still had hours of this movie left, so.
I think we just got Tennessee.
Wait, what? Why else was he still there? Doesn't he have a job? So he just thought he'd get on the tour bus with him anyway and go on like a police chase? Okay.
They're great. They were always great.
Better than the Eagles.
Sorry, what? So it was pointed out to me that this is probably supposed to be like a reference to an anthropomorphic eagle band. But I thought it was just because maybe the writer like had a beef with the Eagles, like the band, the Eagles. I didn't get that. The CBCU is wild, you guys, but aren't you becoming even more of a fan as we go? I think the CBCU is promising. It might even beat the MCU. We don't know.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Hang on. Is that Elton John?
Yeah, I know you're a big fan. We get it all the time.
So then they end up at this country club looking for Ted, the lead singer, and they kind of just like crash this wedding with no problem. And then Fred and Zeb make this poor woman very uncomfortable.
Howdy.
Just sit at a different table, guys.
Your hair is very pretty.
That is uncomfortable laughter. Please leave her alone.
And we need you.
Who is this guy?
That's Barry.
Yep. Still the only thing they know about this kid. Anyway, Ted says he's done with the country bears and refuses to go with them. They give up, like, extraordinarily easily. I don't blame Ted, though. I mean, look at him. He's killing it up there.
But when I see you hanging about with anyone,
I feel really bad for this couple because, like, not only did these bears just come in and crash their wedding, but now they're entertainment ruined. So, thanks, guys. Fred tries to get Ted to come along, and then he just suddenly punches him out of nowhere.
Your family. And you're going.
And that's it. That's the scene. Why is Fred so violent? Is he okay? Remember, kids, when someone doesn't want to go with you, just punch them. It works every time. And then we get a little brief thing with the dumb police officers and their continued investigation, and then, like, Dex just totally believes what Barry told him about joining the country bears or whatever. I don't. It's a short scene, and we gotta move.
That's not my gardener. That's Elton John.
Oh my God, that was Elton John.
come on, Ted. You do kind of owe us. I mean, you were the reason we broke up.
Why did they just stop out in the middle of nowhere? That grass is, like, uncomfortably high. So Ted continues to push back about getting the band back together, and it's this whole moment, you know, like, no, we can't get back together, and we were never a family, and yada yada, and they argue more, and this upsets Barry, so then he just decides he's in his Forrest Gump era.
Hold on, Bear.
I love that for him. I have so many questions, like, where is he running? Why did they just let him run away? They're not even really trying to stop him. Like, what is happening? Why is he running in the middle of the road?
Mom?
He ran home. He ran home. He ran home. He ran home. How did he know where he was? How did he know to get home? I don't get it. He gets reunited with his family, I guess, but, like, what was going on in that writing room? Okay, guys, so we just need a way for him to get home. Well, he could just run home. Run home. Well, he's a bear, right? Don't they, like, run everywhere, you know? You know? Perfect. Love it. All right, guys, got time to get home. Thankfully, his little Forrest Gump moment caused him to leave all of his stuff behind so the country bears can, you know, like, rummage through it and find all his little country bear memorabilia and fan stuff. They also find this report that Barry did about how the country bears are his hero and, you know, that inspires them or whatever. It's supposed to be a heartfelt moment. Feel heartfelt. Christopher Walken's back, and that's all that matters.
Oh, yes. Do that.
Somehow the bears knew where Barry lived. That's fine. So then we get kind of one of those reverse convincing scenes, you know, like Ted didn't want to join the band, but then Barry's love for the band inspired him to want to get the band back. You know, we know this kind of plot, right, guys? I don't need to explain it to you. You're smart. You're smart because you're here with me, trapped in this, not trapped. You could leave anytime you want. And now we're off to do the show. Everything's happy. Everyone's on board. And nothing can go wrong. Oh, wait. Never mind. Christopher Walken stole the band and the van. So they're all bear napped now. So I like this detail that Christopher Walken seems to have, like, tranquilizer darts and like a dart gun. And I think that's kind of funny that the writers were like, oh, what if he had a, you know, bear tranquilizer instead? It's cute.
Ray. Your stuff was on that bus, right?
Yeah.
All your stuff? We can track him with this.
Oh my God. They're gonna track them using the collar. And for some reason they can't fit Ted in the van, even though he, like, very clearly could fit in the van. But they do it just to do this bit so that he has to ride in the boat in the back, and it's fine.
I can't have you ruin what I've been working on for 30 years. You ruined my life!
You're Benny Bogswagon!
Plot twist. It was Ben
You're Benny Bogswagon!
Bogswoggle the whole time. See, I told you guys that was going to be important. It was important, and I hope you remembered, because then this plot twist would have fell flat, and we can't have that. The revenge plot makes no sense, right? Like, the band was already broken up, but he hates Country Bear Hall for some reason. So I don't know what to say. So then they they have to rescue the bears, so there's just more chaotic scenes of them, trying to rescue the bears. They rescue them pretty easily. It doesn't really... We're at this point in the movie where they keep setting up new conflicts, but then, like, resolving them, like, 5 minutes later. So, the ending is at least interesting. We're entertained in the end, and that's good. Anyway, super easy to rescue the bears. We're back on the road, show back in business again. It's all good. It's all great. I'm so tired. Please tell me that this movie ends soon. I just really want to take a nap, maybe. Oh, and Dex and Barry are like best friends now. Like, he's not going to bully him anymore. It's a weirdly paced scene, and it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Hey, where is everybody?
No people.
You give me the 20, okay?
Hey!
Also, Christopher Walken is like a super fast driver because he beats them to the Country Bear Hall somehow. So even though they kind of like left right after he did, but it seems like he's been hanging out there for a while. So
Rip, huh? Look at him. He never promoted the show. Not me.
Rip?
Hey, well, hey.
So I actually don't hate this plot point. I think this is kind of a cool twist in the movie. So you guys remember Rip, that like stole the band from them before and was like clearly a sleazy businessman? He didn't do the promoting like they asked him to, and they never checked in on him. It's like, it's kind of your fault for trusting a sleazy businessman. He just stays a sleazy businessman, and I like that. I like that writing. Good job. I also love how those actors says it's just business.
It's not personal, Henry. It's just business.
Time for another plot twist. How many have there been in the past few minutes? I'm so tired. Big Al saves the day. He swings open the doors and he's like, what do you mean there's no crowd? They're back here. Like, they were just hanging out back there. And that results that. These extras are hype, dude. They come flooding in. They carry out Christopher Walken. Yeah, it's a thing. And Country Bear Hall is saved. No clue how these people found out about the concert. There's no explanation about it. Big Al's just like, here they are. All these people that you asked for. We don't know where he got these people, but they're excited to be there, and that's all that matters. I love this dude's energy, man. Like, he was hype before Henry even finished talking. It's great. So we finally get the awesome reunion show. Barry gets to play with his favorite band of all time. Everyone's loving it. It's freaking lit in there, guys. Like, these ladies even had time to make these very bland band shirts. Love that. Watching these crowd shots in these type of movies, like, look at this lady. Slow down there, Sandra. This is a family joint. Damn it, Barry. Your mom is dry crying again. She really needs to see a doctor about that. Dex is sitting with this strange man. Seriously, who is this guy? Also, is that Rhodey on the drums? How come he wasn't in the band's introduction? Is it because he's not a bear? Can he not be a part of the Country Bears if he's not a bear? That doesn't seem fair. That rhymed. I just want this movie to be over, guys. Barry gets a solo with a magic instrument that can just totally rip out some electric guitar with only one string. So I guess that's what the one string thing is. I guess we finally got our answer after all this time. We again get some very disorienting cinematography, like from the beginning of the movie. It all came full circle. Wait, where did Dex get popcorn? Is that a candy bar? Did Big Al set up like a whole concession stand too with all this food? Where did he find the time for that? They really don't pay him enough, you know? And that's it, friends. We get the rest of the concert and the credits finally roll, and then we get, more of the like documentary style thing, and that's it. That's it. We can finally go home.
You have one?
Damn it. There's a post-credit scene.
Even Mrs. Davis, our receptionist, has one. You don't have to wear no fake mustache to impress me.
Oh, it's just more of that absolutely hilarious car scene with the cops, so. Okay, that's it. We're done. We can go home. So friends, I'm so glad that you guys joined me in the corner today to watch this movie. It was a movie that we watched, but we watched it together, and that's what made it special. I give this movie a 4 out of 10 notes. For those 4 notes that are still trapped in the rafters.
Some of the best darn notes ever.
Someone please think of the notes. Let me know in the comments what you think of this movie. If you want to see more movies like this, please don't make me watch any more anthropomorphic bears. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I was inspired by Jamie French and the Zetas Lapidus, the Mammoth Club podcast. They always read IMDb reviews after movies, so I thought, why not do that for ourselves as well? So I found one. It's a 10 out of 10. The title of the review is I have the DVD because it's a damn funny movie. This was written by Punjana. And they go 3.9, only 3.9 for this. That's worse than Plan 9 from Outer Space, the worst movie of all time. I don't know that movie. Let me know if I should watch it. What is it? This is just wrong, people. This is one of the funniest films I've ever seen. I first watched this at the tender age of 35. Christopher Walken had me almost wetting myself. Oh no! Even now, thinking about, oh no, I'm giggling to myself. Officers Cheats and Ham in the car wash. Who doesn't like bears that can talk and play guitar? Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, it's totally preposterous. Yeah, it's meant for kids. Yeah. It's got singing bears in it, but it's got gags and one-liners that will make you bust a rib. So there you have it, friends. Did you bust a rib today? I didn't, but props to you if you did. Thank you for joining me in the corner today, friends. Please like and comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you would like to join the corner. Like our dear friend back here. Look at them. They're having a great time. Super not trapped in here like I am. Look at that smile. Isn't it precious? And that could be you. Join the corner. Okay, bye.